dictatorship. Each one trying so much to outdo the one before it in violence, in looting, and in plunder. We have not witnessed a peaceful transfer of power from one leader to another since our country became independent in 1962. Unfortunately, friends, 15 years ago, when we had the chance to witness the first peaceful transition of power, 15 years ago, President Museveni, through greed, he denied our nation an opportunity of experiencing a peaceful transition of power from one leader to another, from one generation to another. And as if that was not evil enough, only 3 years ago, this greed caused him to act in the most shameful manner and remove the last safeguard in form of age limit for constitution. Like Idi Amin, Museveni declared himself president for life in our country, Uganda. Well, little did he know that God will one day raise a generation that will not take that. Little did he know that God will raise unexpected people from unexpected places. So, to you, Mr. Museveni, since you have failed to control your greed and lust for power, our generation is determined to save you from yourself and stop your 35-year-old dictatorship. The liberation and socio-economic transformation of our country cannot be achieved unless we first remove the big obstacle, and that is Museveni, who has undermined all institutions of state and instead institutionalized corruption in Uganda. And of course, he has institutionalized human rights violations. Fellow Ugandans, I'm offering myself as a candidate of the highest office in this land, as a representative of the oppressed Ugandans. My background is well known to you, all of you, born hustling and born to hustling parents, raised in the ghettos of Kamocha, but fortunate enough to raise on top courtesy of my talent and hard work. It is now this background that has enabled me to understand the struggles of the common Ugandans. 35 years ago, Museveni started feeding off taxpayers' money and living in absolute abundance. Him and his cronies are completely detached from the common person, and no wonder they mock our people because they have impoverished them, battered them, and suppressed them. And that is why this election, in this election, I am representing the weak, I am representing the poor, I am representing the downtrodden, I am representing those that have been excluded from a system which works only for a few, and of course, sitting and stepping on the necks of the many. I am representing the overtaxed business people. I am representing the parents that have sold all their land to take their children to school, and now their children cannot find jobs. I am representing the border riders who are persecuted every day after being made to pay large sums of money. I am representing those wives and mothers that cannot afford maternal health. I am representing the business person who borrows money at high rates and cannot figure out how to pay it. I'm representing the local suppliers who are kicked out of government tenders simply because they don't know anybody in government. I am representing poor Ugandans who have lost land to the powerful land grabbers, and many of them are in government. Yes, those who cannot get justice because justice under Museveni is for sale. I am representing the poor soldiers, the police officers who are so oppressed, yet they are commanded to beat and kill citizens who they are supposed to protect simply because they must appease the rich. Those rich and the mighty are the ones we are standing against. In this election, gentlemen and ladies, I am representing the hardworking people of Usoga that have been deliberately kept poor by the NRM regime. I am representing the great people of Acholi, whose land is being stolen in broad daylight by the regime and its cooperatives. I am representing the people of Lango, who have been deliberately marginalized and disempowered for the past 3 decades. They have been deliberately marginalized and squeezed. I am representing the impoverished people of Karamoja who are kept under the barrel of the gun while their gold, their copper, their cobalt and iron ores are stolen away.